Bank leads me to believe Bryan's going to be back on the pay-per-view. He's going to be in that match, and he's going to win the title back.
You know what? That would be amazing. I don't know. I mean, because, yeah, 7 is a really odd number, and got me again with that, damn it. And I always prefer, like, an even number for my Money in the Bank matches, either 6 or 8. That year that they did 4 of all former world champions and The Miz entered for 5, that was bullcrap. But,
6, though?
Wait, what?
I feel like that ended up being 6, though.
No, I think it only ended up being 5.
Oh, okay.
Cena, Big Show, Jericho, Kane, and Miz.
Okay.
Yeah, what a lineup, right?
Well, I mean, it's okay. I mean, one major blemish in there.
But, yeah, 7 guys. Maybe Bryan will come back at the last minute. Honestly, I could see it going either way. I could see the match having him be that surprise entrant, overcoming all odds again to a huge pop. I could just as easily see a new champion be crowned while Bryan rehabs, and then they go into a future program over the championship. Regardless, we know in the context of this promo that only Alberto Del Rio has qualified, and then Triple H just gives a spot away to somebody else. And who is that person?
The most deserving man on the roster, Randy freaking Orton.
Yeah, and you know what? I think Triple H said the same thing, and you know what? I can't disagree with him. I mean, this guy's had a rematch clause that he hasn't been able to exercise for how long now?
2 months.
Yeah, exactly. So, in all honesty, people could complain about Orton being handed a spot, but in all rights, I mean, he deserves it. So
Yeah, he really does. I mean, that irritates me. Like, I still feel like he's entitled to a one-on-one rematch. Come on, he never got pinned.
I know. I think the best part for me about Orton's title reign was how, unless it was Bryan, you and I were just always, like, rigorously in his corner and defending. I'm like,
that's because he was rigorously screwed every month.
I know. Poor Randy can't catch a break.
Well, he caught the break that he deserved tonight.
Yeah, definitely, by being in a ladder match with 6 other people.
And being on vacation for the night. Don't forget that.
That's true. I mean, he's gonna need it for how sore his body's probably gonna be come June 29th. But
and it's not even just a 7, possibly 8-man match. It's a freaking ladder match, for God's sakes. There is literally no reflection on your skill and ability to be WWE World Heavyweight Championship by climbing a ladder like a dad cleaning the gutters and winning a title.
Yeah, it's like, I could just picture, like, Orton's trying to get himself pumped up, thinking, you know, with Bryan out of the picture, it's going to be awesome, I'm going to reclaim my spot, and then it's like, yeah, Randy, we're going to give you a championship match, yes! But it's a ladder match, so that RKO that you got going on, yeah, it's useless.
Yeah, remember the last ladder match you were in? You hit an RKO onto John Cena, and he was on his feet before you.
Yeah, so get it together, Randy. I'm sorry, I can still be the face of the WWE. Yeah, with all those blemishes going on, we'll call on Tyler Breeze.
I want Randy Orton to cut a promo talking about how, normally for my World Heavyweight Championship matches, I'm training by getting in the ring and practicing my moves, but for this one, I'm going to be on the Stairmaster.
Yeah, exactly. Just climb that ladder as fast as you can. And, I mean, it's crazy. I do hope Orton gets his one-on-one match, but do you want to hear the sad truth? I bet you Batista gets a one-on-one match before Orton does.
Probably. He probably will. He'll be back in October. Orton won't get a rematch by then.
And I just want to say that in light of that fact, I understand, but screw that. You see what I did, Batista? Yeah. As far as the rest of this promo goes...
You know what the really funny is? I had no clue that that's what you were going for at first, and I was ready to be like, dude, I don't understand. What are you talking about? But then I realized that you were just putting Batista in all over the world.
Excellent. But yeah, the rest of this promo was what you would expect, the typical Bryan bashing on the part of the Authority, B+ there, this, that, and the other. Personally...
He's an A+ with a B+ body.
Actually, did they say that criticism, or did you come up with that?
I came up with that, but they did say you can't expect an A+ recovery from a B+.
The Authority. Just when you thought your friends were douchebags.
Just when you thought you were getting enough grades in school, they make you deal with more.
Yeah, exactly. The Authority now teaming up with Common Core Math to help you deal with grading problems.
No!
But, you know what? Personally, I mean, I am a Bryan fan, and in an ideal world, I would have loved to have seen him keep it. I actually do like this decision that this ladder match is going to have these big stakes, because personally,
Big stakes? Ryback's going to be so happy.
Because he can't stop eating. I find this match to be far more compelling than a potential Brian Cage stretcher match. So,
Yeah, it really is too. Like the stretcher match is the worst kind of gimmick match, really.
and kudos to Brian and Kane. I feel like they could at least pull it off better than somebody who's extremely OP like Cena. At least Daniel Bryan, I think, plays the underdog quite well. So I probably would have thoroughly enjoyed it, but you can't beat a good ladder match. So.
I think it can. It's called Hell in a Cell.
Touche.
I wonder if they're going to give Kane a spot in the Money in the Bank ladder match, though, because
You know what?
it only makes sense if they were planning on giving him a title shot anyway. Why not just insert him into the match?
Yeah, I completely agree with you. In fact, the more I think about it, I mean, yeah, Orton definitely got his just desserts. Like, he deserves this, but I'm surprised they didn't make Orton work for his spot, and they didn't award Kane the spot, seeing as how they already considered him the number one contender by giving him a one-on-one shot, before the actual ex-champion.
WWE logic, everyone. WWE logic.
At its finest.
I feel like we have slowly found ourselves becoming the fool killer of the WWE. Like, we love it, we really enjoy it, but we aren't going to miss an opportunity to just point out something terrible that they do every now and then.
Oh yeah, we're the worst. There's no question.
Alright, so, after we get this announcement, we get a video of Seth Rollins turning, and the announcement that Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose, and if they can find a partner, whoever that would be, would face the Wyatt family tonight in a 6-man tag match. But for them, it's probably going to be more like a handicap match because no one likes the Shield, apparently. But
yeah, no one likes you.
He really drives the point home that Rollins adapted, and tonight the Shield will perish. So we move on to our first match of the night, and they do announce that we're going to have 2 Money in the Bank qualifying matches tonight, and we glide right into our first one, that being Bad News Barrett versus Sheamus in yet again another 15-plus minute Sheamus match, because we really need these every week.
I mean, it seems like you have an issue. I guess I can understand where you're coming from, but I do like that the United States champion is in spots like this where he does
They're
get.
They're just so boring, though.
You feel like, let me guess, you feel like Sheamus matches have become, like, gotten to the point where they could be completely telegraphed, right?
They're completely formulaic. It's obnoxious.
And that's certainly a valid criticism. That being said, I still had a lot of fun with this.
The only exciting thing about a Sheamus match is trying to decide whether he's going to use white noise or not. And when he does, it doesn't even matter because he rarely wins with it.
Right, he only wins against weak sauce people, i.e. Christian. So, but all that being said, I did enjoy this match. I've come to find that I really enjoy, outside of technical wrestling, like just the straight up fight type matches, where brawling is really heavily emphasized, and that was certainly there here. I thought Barrett had some really fun offense in this match, driving Sheamus's shoulder into the ring post repeatedly, taking Sheamus's arm at one point and driving his head towards his boot and repeatedly kicking him in the head. But despite all that grueling offense from Barrett, it ultimately amounted to nothing, Ashton.
I want you to know I hate you, John.
Why? What did I do?
Now you made me miss Christian.
I'm sorry.
It's all your fault.
I fully accept responsibility, but he'll get one more match eventually.
Oh, I hope he gets in the ladder match.
That would be a good spot for him. We'll see.
That would be so good. RVD can come back and win instant title shots. Why not Christian?
Yeah, Christian busted his hump more. I think he's due to be in this ladder match. I mean, heck, he was last year, so we'll see if this year is just as kind to him.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Did you have anything else left to say about?
Oh no, I handed it over to you when I said that despite all of Barrett's offense, it was for naught.
Right. Yeah. I mean, Sheamus won with the bro kick, and my mom, who is a huge fan of both these guys, about 5 seconds into this match realized that she was just a little bit more of a Wade Barrett fan, and she was cheering for him the whole time, and she was legitimately angry when Sheamus won. So for once, she felt the same way about the result of a Sheamus match as you and I.
Let me just say something really quickly, and you can add on this if you want to, Ashton. But to me, I do feel like it's such a conflict for me, because on one hand, you and I both knew Sheamus was winning, because you have said multiple times that the United States Championship currently has a higher stock than the Intercontinental title. So it makes sense for that particular champion to be the better representative for a match of this caliber, being in a ladder match for the World Heavyweight Championship. That said, I feel like Barrett as a performer, putting championships in their own isolated little area, his stock has personally been higher. I think, as you said at the beginning, he is more over right now. I think he's on more of a roll right now than Sheamus. So, in the sense of a personal rub, I do think the wrong call was made here.
I just don't understand why they feel the need to constantly shove certain guys down our throat. Namely, the two guys that spent probably 60% of 2013 feuding, or 2012 rather, feuding for the world title, Sheamus and Del Rio.
Right, yeah. And you know what? I personally don't understand why both mid-card champions couldn't have been in this. I mean, I guess I kind of get it if they have plans for Wade Barrett to defend the title, but somehow I doubt that.
Yeah,
Because both,
like, if we seriously have our first pay-per-view in, like, 5 months without an Intercontinental Championship defense, I'm going to be so disappointed.
I think I will be as well, and I think Barrett would be as well, because, I mean, he said in interviews that this feels like the first time holding the Intercontinental title that the company is legitimately behind him. And I think it would suck for him not to be in a high-profile situation when I feel like he has been on such a roll lately. Again, crowd connection, victories. I mean, he just successfully defended the championship in a triple threat match. Like, he's got the credibility there. I could have bought him beating Sheamus.
Yep.
I only knew he wouldn't because, again, the prior discussions about it not only being Sheamus, but him being the holder of the United States Championship. I personally think both guys should have gotten a spot, or Barrett got a spot, but Sheamus had a title defense. One or the other.
But, I mean, if you want to keep a title credible, which, I mean, if they have all these one-on-one matches between these guys and Sheamus wins more of them than Barrett, you would think that in the WWE's eyes, the United States title is the one that they want to keep stronger. So therefore, why would you put him in this title match when you could put him in a match where he's in a position to defend his title to make his title look even stronger? Or, the only other thing is, if he wins the WWE title, then not only would that make the U.S. Championship look a little bit stronger, but you would also, like, you take one step forward and then two back, because then Sheamus would have to lose the U.S. title to someone or be stripped of it. And if he loses to someone, then why would they possibly go after the U.S. title and not the WWE World title? And if he gets stripped of it, then really how much credibility does it have if the people fighting for it haven't really had any connection to it previously? It's just like the women's championship in NXT. Paige was stripped, and then guess what? Credibility was all lost. All that credibility that Paige had built up, if somebody would have, like, if Charlotte would have pinned Paige, how much more credible of a champion would she be? And she did pin Paige, but it was in a tag match, so it didn't count. But regardless, if that would have been for the title, how much more credible would the women's championship look now than, oh, we stripped her of it, so we're just going to have these other people have matches for the title? Like, I told you from the first time when we found out that Paige was being stripped, that the credibility of that title was back to square one.
Oh, and I remember you also had a legitimate gripe because when Charlotte pinned Paige in that tag match, that was in the wake of Paige becoming the new Divas champion. So it goes back to your argument about Sheamus holding all three belts. If somebody beats you for a lower tier championship, how is that logical when they're holding, the championship in that particular division? Or, in Sheamus' case, the world title, which encompasses the entire company. And I think you articulated wonderfully my exact problem with having mid-card champions be in Money in the Bank while they're holding their championship, because to me they've either got to cash in after they lose the title, or in this case it is for the championship, so that makes it even worse because you know that Sheamus isn't going to win, Del Rio isn't going to win, so far I feel like two spots have been taken by guys you could immediately write off, at least in my opinion. The only way Sheamus raises his stock is if he loses the United States title anywhere between now and June 29th, so we'll see.
Right, and to me, because of that, the only people that we have right now that might actually win this match are Cesaro and Orton. And to me, it's probably not going to be either one of them, so I'm guessing that one of the last three, again, possibly four, people that gets added will win the title.
Right, and I'm very intrigued to see who those three, possibly four, but the fourth one you could say Daniel Bryan, so really I go back to three.
Right.
Are gonna be, because...
Let's just chalk Kane in.
Yeah, let's chalk Kane in, so that leaves two, and those are two spots that honestly I could not speculate. So I'm very intrigued to see who those two are going to be. But I think you were spot on. Sheamus advances, and that's all that needs to be said.
To me, the worst choices they could make was to put Kofi in it.
Yeah, and I did read that he remarked, I guess, on the post show that he wants a spot, so Kofi will probably have a qualifying match. You know what though? In my gut, and I don't know why, I still feel like a rookie, quote unquote, whether it's Rusev or Bo, one of
So
them I think is going to qualify.
I think it's going to be Rusev.
You think it's going to be Rusev? I'm inclined to agree with you for the time being, but I would not be surprised if it was Bo. So it's going to be either Bo or Rusev. One of them, in my mind, is getting a spot in that match.
They'll put
So,
Bo against Kofi again, and whoever wins that, and obviously Bo would win that. But yeah,
right.
maybe both of them. I mean, there are two spots then.
Yeah, but so first of all, I mean, I guess with a match like this, do you want guys like that? Personally, I think it'd be a great rub for Bo. I wouldn't complain too much. Kofi, it just feels like another waste. I mean, at least with Bo, you can't necessarily call it a waste because I think it's a great platform to really shine.
No. I'm not saying both as in both Rusev and Kofi. I'm saying both as in both Rusev and Bo.
Right, right. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mind that. Rusev's been so dominant lately that for him to really showcase his dominance like big guys like Tenzai and Mark Henry have done in years past, I think would be great. And Bo, again, I even said, I think
Dude,
it was
I
just
hate to be that guy, but honestly, and people are going to get on my case for this, I would give Rusev the title now.
wow.
I would. And the reason for that isn't necessarily because I think he's ready or any freaking stupid marky crap like that. I think it's because you want to give the title to the guy who is going to give Daniel Bryan the best comeback story. And
Right.
really, who is Daniel Bryan less likely to look like he can beat? Randy Orton or Rusev?
That is a great point. I just think, and I know you even said like it wasn't for those reasons, so I can't even really use that against you argumentatively. I just think though that that kind of transition would be so jarring that even given the credibility of your argument, I don't think people would be able to invest in it as they should.
He is
And
the
also,
hottest heel in the WWE right now.
even after Seth Rollins' is bad betrayal though.
It's close.
See, because to me, I would honestly be more willing to accept Seth Rollins walking out with the championship. To be honest, like if I had to
That
pick,
to me though, dude, I agree with you, but the only downside there is Seth Rollins is going to get over like Daniel Bryan did.
see, and I can't help but agree with you because Seth Rollins is just so damn entertaining to watch. Because in all honesty, and everybody knows that I am a Cesaro mark, and as on a biased perspective, I'm going to be rooting for Cesaro come Money in the Bank. I will make no bones about that. As a fan, yeah, all chips on Rusev. On Cesaro, I mean, sorry, got Rusev stuck on the brain. But if I was to pick, like, who I think would be the best representative, to get the heat to really feel the burn of Bryan getting the championship, I could definitely see your reasoning, so I'd say Rusev or definitely Seth Rollins selling out to get championship gold, I think is a great narrative to go with. But that's what makes this ladder match so intriguing. We don't know who the other three, potentially four, spots are going to be, and we're kind of left just wondering who the best choice would be and who ultimately is going to come out on top.
Let's just, you know what, I started it, so I'm going to stop it. Let's just move forward, assuming there are only going to be seven.
Okay.
Um, because if there is an eighth, we already know who it's going to be. Like, we're not speculating that there will be an eighth for the sake of speculating who it could be. We're speculating that there might be an eighth because we have this feeling that maybe Bryan will return for that spot.
Right.
So let's just assume there will be seven and move forward with that. But regardless, we've spent this entire time talking about Money in the Bank because of the first match of the night, so we need to move on.